Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the April 8th council meeting. We're going to start first. I'm going to ask for a motion to close for a public hearing, if we could, please. It's going to be for the ordinance 263 for the sale of municipal parking lot.
I'll make a motion, we close the meeting and move into a public hearing for ordinance number 263 regarding the sale of the municipal parking lot.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right. Is there anybody here that's here to discuss the sale of the municipal parking lot before we go any further? All right. Well, then we're going to make a motion to close it. Close the public hearing motion, please.
I'll make a motion, we close the public hearing and resume our council meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. All right. Well, we're going to move on. So let's call the meeting to order. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Get control of the chair.
That figures.
Might be this building.
Okay, real quick, just some quick housekeeping. On Wednesday, April 2nd, we had a closed session on Article 3-305B1. Kelly, did I leave that in your office by some chance? No, I have it. Sorry. So, those in attendance were the full town council, the director of finance, town administrator, the police chief, and myself. The meeting was closed under general provisions 3-305B1, and it was to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluations of appointees, employees, or officials over whom the public body has jurisdiction, and any other matter that affects one or more of the specific individuals. So we just have to let everybody know that, and there was no action taken, no votes were taken or anything on that. Okay. So let's start with the approval of February 18th, 2025 minutes, if we could.
I'll make a motion, we approve the February 18th, 2025 minutes. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Let's move on to the March 11th, 2025 minutes, please.
I'll make a motion, we approve the March 11th, 2025 minutes.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. How about the receipt of the February 2025 Treasurers Report?
I'll make a motion for the receipt of the February 2025 Treasurers Report.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. One more, March 2025 check register, please.
I'll make a motion, we receive the March 2025 check register.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, we'll start off, I'll get through the mayor's report, we'll go over that, and then we'll move on to the rest of the meeting. Just so everybody knows, there'll be a quick budget meeting after this meeting. It should last about 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll get everything wrapped up there. Also, there will be, the election will be held on May 20th. It runs from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., so everybody who's in town, obviously, that can vote, we would love to see you here. And then following that, just for all of us as well, May 28th at 7:30 will be the reorganizational meeting that we'll have here as well, for everyone to get sworn in and the council. Okay. Water bills are due Wednesday, April 30th. Hydrant flushing is April 23rd and 24th, starting at 9 p.m., so take note if you see any brown water or you see water or somebody outside with the hydrants, that's us. The Charlotte B. Collette Memorial Scholarship is due on May 1st. Don't forget to pick up your application at Manchester Valley Guidance Office or the Town Hall or online at www.manchestermd.gov. The ML Scholarship is due on April 25th. The Carroll County chapter of the Maryland Municipal League offers 3 $1,000 scholarships, and for more information, also go to our website. Yard waste pickups on Wednesdays. Huge trash will start April 9th, continue through December 17th. I think we've mentioned lots of times about they can't be in excess of 3 feet or 4 inches in diameter, and they have to be bundled in arm loads, and they can't be mixed in with dirt, mulch, or anything else, strictly just the branches. All right, so if we don't follow that, Hughes will not pick them up, and they'll still be signature curb the next day, so please follow. All yard waste must be placed in large craft paper bags or in a container to be dumped. No plastic bags. They won't tear them open, they'll just leave them. Okay, I told you about the elections, we talked about all that. Bulk trash pickup is April 16th. You can call Hughes for trash removal. If you have anything, you can certainly call them directly, and they'll set it up for you. They're very, very good about that. And brush pickup is April 24th. I think that's all I have right now. Oh, there seems to be a problem with sometimes people are putting paint cans in the trash. We cannot put them in the trash. They have to be either completely dry, they have to have cat litter, shredded paper. There's guidelines. You can ask Hughes, whatever, however you want to figure it out, but don't leave paint cans out there because they will not take them. And also, we had a couple issues. So dogs must be kept on a leash, cord, or chain when they're not on the premises of the owner. So please don't let your dogs run loose. Use everybody else's yard, and it doesn't go real well sometimes with neighbors. Okay. Town Administrator report, Matt, and Public Works report, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight, we have a couple action items, so we'll take care of them at the end. The wastewater treatment plant upgrade. CDM Smith has asked for more time to review the comments from the 60% that I have made, and they also have asked for more time for peer review on their end. So our new 90% delivery of documents is slated for April 26th. The PFAS project, the firms were evaluated and the staff agreed on a vendor, and all the bidding documents were submitted to MDE for their review. We are still waiting to hear back from them. The Manchester Elementary School crosswalk project, the project is now complete. And at the Manchester East Stormwater Facility, the county is still in negotiations with the property owner. Main Street trees and sidewalks, a tree removal permit form was submitted to the DNR, and they have contacted me, and they're coming out to look at that. There's no movement on the crosswalk refurbishment project at this point. Charlotte's Quest Nature Center, Thursday, March 13th, there was a joint meeting held between the council and the reps for the Nature Center. The reps shared, Charlotte's Quest reps shared their ideas and their goals, and they asked us to review the documents they had created. We're still waiting for them to send us electronically. The Watershed Action Plan grant, Fish and Wildlife has approved the grant, and we have received a proposal from Hanover Land Design to assist with this grant. Code enforcement and zoning. You have the monthly code enforcement update in front of you. Equine Meadows has received preliminary off-site improvement go-ahead, so they are probably going to be in here this month for zoning and planning. The Maverick One Solar Project, the grading is complete. They have moved some of the construction equipment out the other day, and they are working on moving other equipment in. So I have two action items I'd like to present to the town council. The first one will be for the PFAS design. There were two bids received, or two proposals received for this from a publicly solicited announcement. They were GMB and EA. GMB's price came in at $437,366, and EA came in at $642,608. I am recommending that we give conditional award to GMB for the design of the water treatment facility with PFAS removal to GMB contingent on MDE's approval. And as you can see at the bottom, there's the budgets they're coming out of and what we'll have remaining.
Where's this facility going to be built?
It will be built out, not off Charmel Drive, back southwestern Footbridge Drive. There's a facility there now that will be upgraded to include PFAS removal, which will tie in a couple of the wells in that neighborhood to there.
So you need a special treatment center for PFAS?
Yes, it's a special equipment to remove it.
And are these the wells that we have found that have the highest levels of PFAS in
Yes.
town?
And we had by chance identified the source of the PFAS? I know this has come up before, and you know I'm very frustrated about this.
Yes. So I don't know if any source has been established. Most times it comes from firefighting chemicals and things like that, or predominantly the main source of PFAS, but it's found in plastics and other things like that.
Again, I think Vince's frustration in some ways, because I don't want anything bad in our water and where it comes from, and believe it's true, but the amount that they're asking without the state cracking down on us for certain things. I'm guessing this would help mitigate that from their end, the EPA, et cetera.
Yes, the state has set very strict regulations for PFAS.
Yeah, and it's also in the timely manner they want it done and everything mitigated out of the water as well.
Yeah, they're still working on a lot of that, but their limits are very small.
Could that change at the federal level, potentially coming down the state, or does the state mainly regulate all
I
that?
think most of this is coming from the state
Okay,
level.
so each state would be different in terms
Could
of,
be.
For everyone in the town, the PFAS, I'm sure you've heard about it, we've been speaking about it till we're blue in the face, but as of now, I believe you can give the number, Matt,
For the limit,
remediation that they're
the total.
that they're requiring from us.
Yeah, so the state has set the limit at 4 parts per trillion. Most everything is done in parts per million.
The funding part of it.
And the funding part is, we're looking at approximately $6.5 million for this upgrade.
And they're requiring of us and all the other municipalities as well. Some are much worse than us. Some of our neighbors are 3 and 4 times what we are. But it's a huge, so we don't have a choice. And they're not giving us a choice, let's just say that, so.
Yeah.
When-
And we are
tough-
not the only municipality going through this.
It's a lot to, lot to bite off and chew, I'll tell you that, so.
that's where I was expressing my frustration. And I think everyone here wants clean water, but the amount of time that they're given, and then also if we don't do it, I mean, they're kind of pushing us into a corner.
They are.
It'll cost more, not,
There's no choice.
yeah,
There's not.
exactly, yeah, it'll cost more with the fines that we'll incur based on that.
And when they first introduced it at the MML, the quarterly MML, they explained it as far as, like, think of food coloring in a swimming pool. 3 to 4 drops of food coloring in a Olympic-sized swimming pool. They said at that time was what they were anticipating put people over the limit. So it is a minute amount of chemicals.
Yes.
And like I said, don't get me wrong, ours is a lot, but speaking to our neighbors, they're at least 3 times what we are. So, painful.
So this, if I'm understanding this correctly, the bids that you have, the 2 bids that you have here would be just for the design process, not the build. Is this
Correct.
the entire design process?
This is the
this-
design, this is to give us construction-ready contract design documents.
So we'd basically have the the bid ready proposal?
Bid ready to put out on the street for contractors.
I think unfortunately our hands are tied and we have to move forward with it.
We don't really have an option. We move forward or we don't and get fined.
I just get frustrated in this day and age of AI. where everything seems to be done so simply, that design work takes 40 or 50 people and costs a small fortune.
It does.
That's my frustration. I'm not saying we can't address it. That's not what I'm saying.
I think we all agree. I think we all share your frustration, but
I agree.
I think we're unfortunately in a situation that we don't have a choice.
Well, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we accept the bid of $437,366.20 from GMB in regard to PFAS remediation or design work.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And that will be contingent on
Right.
the state
Yes,
approving
On the
what
state
we've
appro-
sent them.
yes. And they know that, correct? They're well aware of that?
Yes,
Okay.
they are.
As long as it's in the contract, I just don't want to get stuck with,
Correct.
okay.
So my second action item from the town administrator this evening is the proposal we received from Hanover Land Services. I'm not asking to vote on this currently, but I am asking to basically proceed with the grant to accept. The Fish and Wildlife is offering us $55,000 for the grant, and Hanover Land has given us a proposal for their services of $45,000, and then we have an in-kind of $10,000 we have to do. I'd like to get the council's approval to proceed with accepting the grant and seeing if we can work through and actually have it there before we commit to.
Anybody have questions? If not, if we could have a motion?
This is the one behind the old skate park.
Correct.
All right, I'll make a motion, we go with the staff recommendation to award Hanover Land Services $45,000 in regards to the Watershed Action Plan, Fish and Wildlife Services, grant.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, moving on to the Public Works report from Rodney Coons. The monthly water and wastewater data is in your packets for you. Snow and ice removal equipment, snow plows, and all have been cleaned and stored away for the year, hopefully. Water and wastewater. The York Street water tower standpipe replacement, they are supposed to begin work this week on that. The Guterman data logger leak detectors, they said are working beyond their expectations, and there's an action item in here for those. They have all 21 deployed currently. The wastewater treatment plant headworks bar screen project, the equipment is still expected to be delivered sometime this month that we've been waiting on. And we are in the process of cleaning tank number 2 currently to get that back online. From the Parks Maintenance and Facilities Group, the F-550 dump truck is still scheduled to be delivered sometime in May. The Christmas Tree Park fencing project, the town staff has started, and it looks amazing. If you haven't been up to see it, highly recommend it, along with a nice walk through the park. April 5th, our crews did storm damage cleanup. There were several town roads and trees down in the park. They did a phenomenal job with that. And we've had 0 winter events for March of this year. And also, this 4/12, the county is having a hazardous reclamation day at the maintenance center over on Old Meadow Branch Road. So you can take your old paints and old fuels, and there's a whole list of stuff they'll accept. And they're also having a shredding day. You can find more information on their website, and it also posted on ours. So the action item I have from Rodney is to request 10 more data loggers. And his memo is in front of you. So he is looking to spend another $16,255 on these 10 loggers. This model has a range of over 800 feet and pinpoints the leak location. And so far, they found 3 leaks in town with these.
Yeah, These are the new ones that are like so much more.
Yes, these are to replace our older failing ones.
Can we just approve some of these?
We did.
Yes, they're requesting 10 more.
10 more.
How many total data loggers do we have throughout, like, our water systems?
Currently, we have 21,
Okay,
and they're requesting 10 more.
okay. So this will pinpoint where more leaks might occur and
Yes.
damage.
Yeah, and anytime we can stop a leak, we're in good shape. It helps us out, keep our system tighter. We don't lose as much.
Do we know why we wouldn't have just had them all brought up at?
I think they wanted to try a bunch of them before they went into all of them.
That's what he mentioned before, they were new ones and he
Mhm.
wanted to make sure
21,
they
the
worked
20,
before
the
we
21 we
purchased.
purchased,
Yes.
you want to try out, okay.
Yes.
And they work really, really well. They've detected much more than the old ones
Mhm.
did.
Does he plan on buying more after this as well?
I
Is
do
it
not
like- does it
believe
get more
so.
Is this like the last?
I
Okay,
think this is the last batch they're requesting.
okay,
Mhm.
okay, okay.
This is for FY '25.
Yeah, yep. FY
And
20.
does this have like a trade-in or something on the old ones?
I
or is
think
this
I think there was some kind of trade-in, but I think ours were so old and almost non-functional, they gave us pennies or dollars for them.
It's like $100 or something a
It-
piece, I remember.
it wasn't
saying.
much.
It wasn't a lot.
And this eats up basically the remaining amount of budget?
Yes.
The budget for the year.
Can we make a motion or do we have more questions or?
I'll make a motion, we award the purchase of 10 data loggers to Exeter Supply in the amount of $16,255.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And that is all I have for my report.
Thank you. Chief?
Month of March, we investigated 174 calls for service, 15 of which were outside the town. We did have, it was a busy month. We investigated 7 crimes. All have been cleared with arrest. The most egregious was a second-degree rape that stemmed from a bar in town. It was after the fact, after they left the bar, there was an incident. We did have 2 Part 1 crimes. The other calls and arrests surrounded domestic, disorderly, shoplifting from sheets. We had 2 back-to-back there. And I got to give PFC Spencer Volan a lot of kudos on this. He was out in town. He was patrolling. It was on the evening of the 26th of March. He spotted suspicious activity around Manchester Pharmacy. So when he moved in to get a little bit closer, he had a subject in the car, decided to mask up. And as he investigated a little bit more, believing that he was casing out Manchester Pharmacy, the subject did have a gun that turned out to be a BB gun, but it also turned out to be a CDS violation. I'm pretty sure he stopped a robbery or possibly a burglary or whatever that may have been. That subject was also wanted out of the state of Pennsylvania. So that was a good grab. It was great observation. I'm glad I'm hearing the guys are doing that and he was paying attention and quite possibly stopped a violent crime. So that's excellent police work on his part. Upcoming, I guess this weekend is the Easter egg scramble. That's going to be down in the ball fields. And then next weekend is going to be the baseball parade on the 26th. The little guys will do their parade up through York Street. Tonight, the mayor swore in a new officer. Her name is Kathleen Yachts, and she's joining our police department. She was a longtime member of the Carroll County Sheriff's Office. She left in good standing there. She then worked for a little bit in the Carroll County Community College Police Force, and we're just happy to have her. She's got a great deal of experience. She's going to be good for the community. She's a longtime Carroll County resident, and she's a longtime North Carroll resident. So that's a good person to have on our team. It's going to be great to have her. As far as the overdose numbers go, I do know there was a slight increase. They go up and down. The exact numbers I do not have. And year to date, we got 12 persons criminally charged, and we have 3 Part 1 crimes. That's about it.
Thank you.
Chief, the arrest relative to the pharmacy, where's this person from, or these guys?
He was from Essex, yes.
Essex?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
All right, that's excellent work.
And he was wanted in the state of PA. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Spencer, that was a great observation,
Absolutely.
great observation.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna move on to discussion of ordinance number 263 regarding the sale of municipal parking lot. That's the parking lot behind Spargo's that we talked about before. So I'd like to have a motion, and then if we could have a vote and proceed with that. Unless there's any questions, any other questions? Okay.
I'm okay. I make a motion that we proceed with ordinance number 263 regarding the sale of municipal parking lot behind Spargo's in the amount of $25,000.
Thank you.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? If there's any other ones, can somebody take over for Jen, please? No, it's not your fault. I mean, no, I don't want to put you through it. So that motion passes, so we can proceed with that. And I'm assuming, Kelly, you'll be getting in touch with Mr. Rendau about the paperwork. Okay. Also, now the introduction of ordinance number 264. These are all just introductions. We'll have public hearing on these on May 13th at 7 p.m. And you can see the ordinances online. Introduction of ordinance number 264, maintaining the current tax rate of .216, so there'll be no tax rate increase. Happy to say. And introduction of ordinance number 265, increasing the water rate 77 cents per thousand from $3.85 to $4.62. And the introduction of ordinance number 266, increasing the sewer rate $1.20 per thousand from $6 to $7.20. Again, there won't be any discussion tonight, but we will have the public hearing on May 13th at 7 p.m. Okay. Questions or comments from the community? I don't have the list, so I don't know who all signed up. I see the rec council's here, so we could start with that. The rec council? I see you're here, so I'm assuming.
Thank you for having us. So a little update on the shed project. We met with Carroll County Parks and Rec in Carroll County. They approved our funding. So we are trying to get permission with you guys to move forward. We have decided to shrink the shed down a little bit to a 12 by 14?
16.
12 by 16, I'm sorry, instead of the original 14 by 20. We're still good with the location. We're gonna do some upgrades to the current concession stand that we have now, in all interior stuff. So I don't know if you have any more questions or.
In the door.
Oh, and we're gonna replace one of the doors.
Have you discussed with Matt about the placement of it? I know that was the only question we had last time. Have you guys? Of the shed?
The actual physical placement, not really.
Okay,
I think we discussed on the other side of the concession stand.
okay,
Yes.
we're working
Or
that,
Lily.
we're working out those logistics, right?
Yeah,
So
we
we're
were
good
just
with
going
all-
with what he told us.
Yeah, okay,
Put it
that's
on the
fine.
other side.
Yep, I know they're working on it. I just didn't know if it was settled yet, so you guys.
I don't think we have it settled. Might like to meet out there and just see where we're putting it, make sure that's the best spot, because it probably will take some parking spots away, so,
I think it'll take one.
okay. So that's what we want to look at.
And the door that's on that other side, I guess someone tried to break into it. It's welded shut with no handle, so we're gonna have to fix that.
All right, does anybody have any questions? I know we went through this before and asked them a lot, so if not, let's move forward with a motion to get this approved if we could.
I'll make a motion, we approve the shed project for the ball fields.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the community at all? Okay. All right, so Councilman Nazarod?
So as you just said, I think May 20th, I think it's 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Local elections here in Manchester, we'll say that again in May, so just mark your calendar. It was also the end of the Maryland general session, if anybody's waiting for the end of that, like me. But, so we always kind of see the good, bad, and the ugly, but I would reach out to your representatives because stuff that happens in the town, we just discussed it, with a water treatment plant, sometimes there's laws and things made that affect within the town and what we have to deal with our budget. So please reach out to your local representative to that. And a lot of times they'll post videos updating you what the big items were and that. And then communication as people have more, just general communication, as people have more get-togethers. I think it's nice when neighbors communicate with each other that, hey, I'm having a birthday party for 2 or 3 hours. That way nobody calls the cops or anybody on that. Everybody understands you kind of take care of it within house before you bring somebody else out. But I mean, parking on the street for an extended amount of time would be a little bit too much, and then that is violating a code there. So
But don't we still have that, Chief, where if you are having a party, you call the police and let them know, correct?
The community's been great at it. They
Okay.
give us a call, we get the contact number, just in case there's any problems.
Right.
We
Yeah.
make sure driveways don't get blocked or they don't.
I think it's also a courtesy to let your neighbors know too, like if it's a general
Yeah.
text or something, that way it also, yeah. No, that's it, sorry.
Councilwoman Howe?
And we have 2 activities going on this Saturday, April the 12th, from 11 to 1. But it's an egg hunt at Charlotte's Quest, but it's members only. And then on Sunday, May the 18th, from 11 to 1, it's a community plant swap, which is always great. If you have an abundance of plants, bring one and swap it out and take something new. And if anybody's interested, a yearly membership is only $15. A lifetime membership is a one-time fee of $250 if you're interested in becoming a member.
Thank you.
Got it.
One quick thing I forgot to say is, I wanted to say, real quick, a special thank you to especially our finance director, Kelly, for getting us through this budget, and the council, and Matt, and Steve for being here, and also on your second retirement. We're not planning on a third. Things are going well, so I'm hoping to keep you into retirement this time. But thank you again, getting us through, and Kelly for the budget. It's been a lot, but all your hard work as usual. Thank you. I don't think she sleeps during budget season, so hopefully in the next week she can start getting a little rest. Councilwoman Miller?
All right, since our last meeting, we had a quarterly MML meeting at New Windsor. It was a very nice time. We learned about things that were happening locally and across the county. This weekend, Chief already alluded to the Manchester Happenings Group Egg Hunt, which is happening out in the ball fields. The fire department's also having an Easter Bunny Bingo, where you can win Easter baskets filled with prizes. It's 10 games, and you can find information for both of those events on Facebook.
Thank you. Councilman Bocelli?
Excuse me, the next meeting for the North Carroll Business Alliance group is the 17th of April at Spargo's, noon to 1:30.
Thank you. Councilman Cuneo?
Planning and zoning did not meet again in March, however, we are meeting next week. Equine Meadows is about ready to move forward, I think, finally, so we're going to have a meeting with them on Tuesday.
Thank you. Are you 3 Representative Emma?
Hello. So I'm going to start with my favorite announcement. You have 3 more chances to see Manchester Valley High School's spring musical, Newsies. So if you come to the school, tickets are $15 at the door, $12 online ahead of time, and this is Friday at 7 o'clock, and then there's 2 opportunities this Saturday at 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock. And also going along with Newsies, we will be presenting songs from the musical at Carroll County Public Schools, like Theater Fest, this Friday. It's at Carroll Community College. All of the schools from the county come. They showcase their musical, and you just get to see other kids from around the communities. So that's going to be very fun. So, a little late for this one, but there was a restaurant night tonight at Texas Roadhouse, but that goes until 10 o'clock. So if you have a hankering for a nighttime snack, you can go over to Texas Roadhouse, get some rolls.
I'll get us
10%
out
of
of here.
those,
I'll get us out of here. We still have time.
10% of those proceeds will go to Manchester Valley High School. Prom tickets are on sale for, I think, prom's May 10th this year. It's Tangled themed, which is pretty exciting. There is a school supply drive happening at the school until April 28th. We will take any new school supplies like binders, notebooks, pencils, and those can be dropped off at the Manchester Valley High School main office. Thursday, we have boys baseball and girls softball versus South Carroll at Manchester Valley High School. And we also have boys lacrosse versus Westminster. At Friday's track relay meet, Manchester Valley High School placed third of 14 schools, and we had students place first in the triple jump and the 400-meter relay. And going along with that, April 1st and 2nd, girls tennis won 3-2 over Century and 5-0 over FSK. And then the boys tennis team won 3-2 over FSK. The class of 2027 bingo is April 26th at 4 p.m. You can buy those tickets online. I'm pretty sure there's links on the Facebook page for the school. There is a freshman tailgate party this Thursday from 3:30 to 5, and after that you can go watch the boys lacrosse game or the baseball game. And April 9th, which is tomorrow, there's going to be a wellness walk at the school, and this is to support Sources of Strength Week. So we're just building resilience within the community through within our school to strengthen our connection as a school community. So that's going to be pretty fun. And then finally, the spring choral concert and the spring instrumental concerts are upcoming, with the choral concert being May 15th and the instrumental concert being May 8th, I'm pretty sure. Yes, May 8th. Thank you. That's all I have for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love your glasses.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, real quick to add on that, girls lacrosse, Manchester Valley's leading Century tonight, 9-4.
They're nationally ranked too, right?
Yes. I think they're 6th in the nation,
This is the one.
I guess.
And a little side note, Addison Myers was player of the game against Liberty last week. She related to somebody here, so that's
And
congratulations.
she is quite the public speaker.
Yes, she is.
She did a good job. I
She
like
did
the
a really
team
good job.
photos.
She had
She really did.
she was interviewed and she did a great
It
job.
was about the
Amazing.
team, it wasn't.
All the credit goes to somebody else in the family, but we will recognize her grandfather as well.
Yes.
Must be a mother's side.
Yeah. All right, can we have a motion to adjourn, please?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everyone.